Hey everyone, Doug here with the Cleveland Documenters team. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started on your note-taking assignment and how to wrap it up. The first things you're going to want to look for after you've been assigned to cover a meeting is an email in your inbox with the subject line, Your Next Assignment. In that email, you'll see the name of the meeting verified that you're covering, as well as the date and time of the meeting. You'll have a link to your assignment role page to documenters.org. That is where you can submit your checklist when you're finished. More on that in a bit. You also have a link to your Google Doc, and that is exactly where you can take your notes. You don't have to upload another document when you're done. You can take them in another document and then copy and paste them into the Google Doc, but that is the central hub for your note taking. This email will also have some instructions. Typically, this will include how to attend the meeting or how to view the meeting if you're watching remotely, as well as just other good things to know about that meeting in particular and that agency. The instructions will also include some just core essential tips for documenting. And you'll also will see some background information on the government agency itself. Let's go back up to the Google Doc. If I were to click that link, your Google Doc would open up. And here, I'll go to the top of that. At the very top, you'll have some instructions in the Google Doc as well. And this is more so about length for your notes, as well as a recommended number of hyperlinks to include. You'll see some tips here for essentially how to approach the assignment before and after. If you click where it says Get Tips, you'll be taken to the Documenters Field Guide with some more information about those specific areas. I'll come back to this assignment resources section in a moment, but wanted to go down a little bit to keep scrolling to really the heart of the notes section. And that starts right here where it says Notes. That's where you can essentially write and revise the meat of the meeting, all the nitty-gritty details. The summary section is a good place to essentially list the things that you found most noteworthy, the things that you would tell your family and your friends, really with the aim of them being these straightforward recaps of what the government agency or officials did and said in the meeting. You also have this follow-up questions section. That is a great place to ask really any questions that you had after covering and watching or attending the meeting. They are good for us to, as a community, kind of dig a little deeper and learn a little bit more about anything. You can ask questions about anything. I think if they're kind of specific and narrow, those also lend themselves well to being able to track down an answer. And scrolling down to the very end here, there's a section now called Single Signal. And essentially, this is where, in a few words, you can just share like one topic that you think we as a community should learn more about or better explain for residents or look into. These could be broad. For example, it could be development. It could be development on the east side. It could be police oversight. Really, the goal is for these to be kind of short, phrased, one topic that you're really sitting with that you think should be a priority for us as a community to look into more. So going back up now to the assignments resources section, you'll see a few things here, including our local government glossary. It's a great tool to use as a reference for a lot of the jargon that comes up in these meetings. And you can also suggest new terms to us as well to add. You'll see a Cleveland Documenters Best Practices for Revising Your Notes and Style Guide. That is essentially assignment best practices, a little more comprehensive than what is in the instructions. So that's also a good reference to have on hand. You'll also see contact information listed here, and that is to the Documenters support team. If anything ever comes up on assignment, before an assignment, after an assignment, you can reach out to that email or that phone number there to get in touch with somebody. And then lastly, you see a link again to your assignment role page. And like I said earlier, that's also in your email, but if you were to click that link, it takes you over here. This is on documenters.org. You'll see the same instructions listed here that you have in that email. You'll see your Google Doc. Again, it's embedded right on this page here, so you don't have to add any other document of notes. And then you'll see your checklist, and this is really how to wrap up your assignment. Once you're all done, once you've given your notes another read and you're ready for us to look them over, you want to submit this checklist because it essentially notifies us that you're done and ready for us to take a look. Sometimes you might have to actually click the word checklist to bring it down to actually see it. You'll see here, there's some essential things right at the top, the meeting start and the meeting end time for you to input, as well as whether you attended this in person or watched remotely. Those three pieces in particular are crucial to helping calculate your payment for the assignment, so be sure to fill those out. And then the rest of the checklist essentially just has some basic observations for you to note based on how the meeting was ran. You can make your best estimate of the number of people in attendance and fill out the rest of this as you saw it. And then at the very end, once you've gone through that, and these aren't all required, but it's obviously helpful to fill those out. When you're finished, you can hit complete and then submit checklist for review. And that's really it. At that point, we get a message essentially that you're done, and we get to do the fun part of learning from the meeting and starting to read your notes.